This week on Granite State Challenge, the team from Conval Regional High School takes on the team from Hopkinton High School. Only one team will advance. Granite State Challenge starts now.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by NEA New Hampshire, Safety Insurance, New Hampshire Lottery, DF Richard Energy, HRCU, Cognia, and viewers like you. Thank you. Get ready. It's time for New Hampshire high schools to match wits in a high-stakes scholastic showdown. It's time for Granite State Challenge. Here's your host, John Cannon.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for Granite State Challenge this week. We are making our way through the first round of this, our 40th season. And to celebrate our 40th season, we have a special 40th season question number 40, later in the game. I also want to mention off the top that we are keeping in place a lot of the safety protocols that we used last season, and that includes our third round being a 3 strikes and you're out round with a new twist, which we'll get to when we get to round 3. But without further ado, let's introduce you to the two teams competing on this week's match. First up, we have the team from Conval Regional High School, and they are led by senior captain Mira. Mira is joined by senior Kendall, senior Leah, and senior Sam. Their alternates are seniors Elijah and Gwyneth, and the team is coached by Chris Hyder and Eric Bowman. And facing off against the team from Conval is the team from Hopkinton High School. They are led by junior captain Giselle. With Giselle is junior Hal, sophomore Colton, and sophomore Adam. Their alternates are Aaliyah and Piper, both juniors, and the team is coached by Matthew Krogman. And those are our teams this week, but of course, we'd also like to introduce you to our judge, Ann Belanger. All right, teams, introductions are out of the way. Let's play the game. Grab those signaling devices, and as you know, we play Granite State Challenge in 4 rounds, and in round 1, we do 10-point toss-up questions. Conval, Hopkinton, good luck. Here we go. Some states are named for kings. Some are named for people. Some are named for local places. This is the only state named for another country. Leah of Conval?
Georgia.
Sorry, no, although judges keep that in mind. Yeah, we should give that to you. Georgia, we will accept that answer. Well done. All right, this editorial cartoonist, sometimes referred to as the father of American cartoons, created the elephant and donkey representations for the Republican and Democratic parties and the modern representation of Santa Claus. His name was Thomas Nast. This member of the monitor lizard family is native to some Indonesian islands. It can grow to lengths of 10 feet and weigh as much as 150 pounds, making it the largest extant lizard on Earth. Colton of Hopkinton.
Komodo dragon?
Correct. This street in New York City is also known as the Great White Way because it was brightly lit at night. You may know it better as Broadway. In this fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm, a brother and sister abandoned by their parents make their way to a house in the woods made of gingerbread and other sweets. Kendall of Conval.
Hansel and Gretel.
Yes. Oklahoma was the first musical written by this pair, who also wrote Carousel, South Pacific, The King and I, and The Sound of Music. Adam of Hopkinton.
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Yes. This musical instrument has 88 hammers and 2 to 3 pedals. Kendall of Conval?
Piano.
Yes. Teams, what state's name means Green Mountain? Hal of Hopkinton?
Vermont.
You got it. This author who created the characters Stuart Little and Charlotte the Spider was also the co-author with William Strunk Jr. of the English style guide, The Elements of Style. Mira of Conval.
White.
Yes, E.B. White is correct. This educational computer game from the Minnesota Educational Computing Consortium was released in 1974 and took learners on a simulated pioneer trip along a 2,170-mile route that began in Independence, Missouri. Mira of Conval.
The Oregon Trail.
Yes. Formed by Congress in 1933, this agency was created to provide flood control, navigation, electricity, and economic development to the Tennessee Valley. Sorry, Mira, not quite in time. Is the Tennessee Valley Authority. The last TV ad for this addictive product aired on January 1st, 1971 during The Johnny Carson Show. Hal of Hopkinton?
Cigarettes.
Yes. In the famous Monty Python Dead Parrot sketch, the Norwegian blue parrot was pining for these water-filled valleys that were carved by glaciers in Scandinavia. Giselle of Hopkinton.
Fjords?
Yes, fjords is right. The state flower of this state is the Mayflower, also known as the trailing arbutus. Giselle of Hopkinton?
Massachusetts?
That's right. Before he became the head coach of the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick was the head coach of this Ohio team from 1991 to 1995, where he had a losing record of 36-44. He was the coach of the Cleveland Browns. Goodbye, farewell, and amen. The finale of this sitcom is the most watched finale of any television series and the most watched episode of a scripted series. Hal of Hopkinton.
MASH.
Yes. Teams, on what statue will you find the poem The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus? Mira of Conval.
Statue of Liberty.
That's the one. This country singer wrote and performed the songs I Will Always Love You and 9 to 5. Mira of Conval.
Dolly Parton.
Yes. There is an urban myth that we can't deny or confirm that every episode of Seinfeld features a visual or verbal reference to this Man of Steel. Hal of Hopkinton.
Superman.
Yes, you got it. Actor Jimmy Stewart portrayed this aviator in the 1957 movie Spirit of St. Louis. Mira of Conval.
Lindbergh.
Charles Lindbergh is correct. This famous holiday ruminant, who saved Christmas on a foggy night, first appeared in a 1939 booklet distributed by the Montgomery Ward Department Store. Hal of Hopkinton.
Rudolph.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, indeed. All right, teams, this next question is our picture question, so go ahead and take a look at the monitors in front of you. This dime-sized butterfly, found only in the Pine Barrens near Concord Airport, is the state butterfly of New Hampshire and an endangered species. Giselle of Hopkinton?
Carner Blue?
Yes. Pulitzer Prizes, established in the will of newspaper publisher William Pulitzer in 1917, are administered by this Ivy League school. Adam of Hopkinton.
Columbia?
Columbia is right. In 1925, in a speech to the American Society of Newspaper Editors, Calvin Coolidge stated that the chief business of the American people was this. He said the chief business of the American people is business. All right, teams, in what family will you find Morticia, Wednesday, and Uncle Fester? Giselle of Hopkinton.
The Addams Family.
You got it. When he announced his retirement in January of 2022, this New Hampshire politician was the longest-serving state Secretary of State in the U.S. He served in that position for 45 years. Hal of Hopkinton.
Bill Gardner.
Correct. In what sport will you find a hoop, a ball, clubs, a ribbon, and a rope? Mira of Conval.
Rhythmic gymnastics.
Correct. This plant, native to Mexico and Central America, is named for botanist and the first U.S. minister to Mexico, Joel Roberts Poinsett. Kendall of Conval.
Poinsettia?
That's it. Teams, what river forms the border between New Hampshire and Vermont? Adam of Hopkinton.
The Connecticut River?
You got it. The state flag of Wyoming features a silhouette of this large grazing animal. Hal of Hopkinton.
The buffalo.
Buffalo is correct. And that sound ends round one. And after round one, Hopkinton out to a bit of a lead in a tight match by a score of 150 to 100. All right, well done on round one. Teams, go ahead and keep those signaling devices in your hands because we're going to roll right into round two where we continue with the toss-up questions, but we're going to be doubling the point value. So we're playing for 20-point toss-up questions. Conval Hopkinton, here we go. What novel begins with the line, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife"? The first line to Pride and Prejudice. All right, teams, you have paper and pencil there in case you need it. If you have 3 baker's dozen of donuts delivered, how many donuts do you have? Sam of Conval.
39.
39's right. All right, teams, our next question is our Unitil Power question. It is worth double points, so this is a 40-point question coming to you from your monitors. Take a look.
This children's educational show, which first aired in 1971, was rebooted in 2009. The original show featured actors Morgan Freeman and Rita Moreno.
I remember it well. It was called The Electric Company. All right, teams, radio stations can be AM stations or FM stations. AM is short for amplitude modulation. What is FM short for? Kendall of Conval.
Frequency modulation?
You got it. The First Baptist Church and the first synagogue in the colonies were both founded in what is now this state, which was founded around the belief in religious freedom. Sam of Conval?
Rhode Island.
Yes. 2 U.S. presidents have received honorary knighthoods from Queen Elizabeth II. Name either one of them. We would have taken Ronald Reagan or George W. Bush. This South Korean boy band formed in 2010 and features Jin, Suga, J-Hope, RM, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. Mira of Conval.
BTS.
Yes. This singer, known for songs like Peggy Sue and That'll Be the Day, died in a plane crash in 1959 along with singers Richie Valens and the Big Bopper. Leah of Conval.
Buddy Holly.
Yes. The state bird of this landlocked state is the seagull. You'll find a memorial to the bird in the state capitol commemorating the, quote, miracle of the gulls, when the birds saved crops of Mormon settlers from an infestation of crickets in 1848. Leah of Conval.
Utah.
Yes. All right, teams, we have reached the 40th question of the match, which is our 40th season question worth 40 points, and it comes to us from season 25. In The Wizard of Oz, the Munchkins were grateful to Dorothy for causing the death of the Wicked Witch of the East. What was the Munchkins' parting advice to Dorothy? Hal of Hopkinton?
Follow the yellow brick road.
You got it. This alien botanist who just wanted to go home showed up in the backyard of the Taylor family in a 1982 movie. Hal of Hopkinton.
E.T.
Yes. This poisonous arachnid is known for the hourglass-shaped marking on its abdomen. Sam of Conval.
The Black Widow.
You got it. This small and stocky non-sporting breed of dog was the first non-sporting breed in the United States and is named for a New England city. Giselle of Hopkinton?
York Terrier?
Sorry, no. Kendall of Conval?
Boston Terrier?
Is the Boston Terrier, yes. This activity, usually associated with knights, became the state sport of Maryland in 1962. Hal of Hopkinton.
Jousting.
Yes. This 3,065-foot mountain in Grafton County, New Hampshire, is named for a bird known for its mournful call. Leah of Conval?
Loon.
Loon Mountain is right. Teams, what monarch is the state of Virginia named for? Mira of Conval?
Elizabeth. The first.
First, yes, correct. Timothy Chalamet played this character in the 2019 film adaptation of the novel Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. Giselle of Hopkins.
Lori.
Lori is right. Written between 1000 and 1012, The Tale of Genji by Japanese author Murasaki Shikibu is considered by many to be one of the first examples of this genre of writing. Leah of Conval.
Novel.
Novel is correct. And that sound ends round 2. And we've got a pretty tight match here. Conval out to a lead now by a score of 320 to 250. So a bit of a back and forth match. Good job, teams. We are going to go into round 3, which is our 3 strikes and you're out round. In this round, each team gets a category with 10 questions, 10 points for each correct response, and we'll go down the line asking each one of you a question. Each team has 3 passes. You can pass to your teammate next to you, and we continue until you get 3 strikes and you are out. So Hopkinton, as the team trailing, you get to choose first from our categories, and Giselle as team captain, it is your call. You can choose from these categories: tea time, top hats, and place names.
Tea time.
Tea time. Okay. The answers to the following will all contain a single letter T. Okay? Giselle, this large dinosaur was a carnivore with tiny arms.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
We'll take that. T-Rex, you got it. Hal, rapper Fahim Rashid Najm is better known by this name.
Pass.
Pass, Colton?
Tupac.
It is T-Pain. So that's 1 strike. Adam, this black leader in a speech known as the Atlantic Compromise called for black progress through education and entrepreneurship.
Pass.
Pass. Giselle?
Booker T. Washington.
Correct. Hal, you might have played this early form of baseball when you were a kid.
T-ball.
Correct. Colton, this item of clothing can be graphic or plain white.
T-shirt.
Correct. Adam, fans of this singer known for the song Shake It Off sometimes call her this.
T-Swift.
T. Swift is right. Giselle, he wrote the poem The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock.
Pass.
All right, that is your last pass. Hal?
T.S. Eliot.
T.S. Eliot is correct. Colton, tuberculosis is also known by this name.
I don't know.
It is TB. Adam, the Boston Celtics used to play in Boston Garden. Now they play here.
TD Garden.
TD Garden is correct. Giselle, final question. This 3-girl group had #1 hits with the singles Creep, Waterfalls, No Scrubs, and Unpretty.
I don't know.
It is TLC, and at the end of your round, 6 correct responses. All right, we turn over to Conval, and Mira, as team captain, you get to choose from our remaining 2 categories: top hats and place names.
Place names.
Place names. The answers to the following will be an individual with a first or last name that is also a place. First or last name that is also a place. 7. Okay, score correction, it was 7 correct for you, Hopkinton. All right, Conval, place names. Mira, we start with you. First question, many consider him the best basketball player of all time.
Michael Jordan.
Correct. Kendall, this actor got her start at age 7 in the movie I Am Sam.
I don't know.
It is Dakota Fanning. Leah, this actor played Billy Elliot on the stage and Spider-Man in the movies.
Pass.
It's pass. Sam, same question?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure, this actor played Billy Elliot on the stage and Spider-Man in the movies.
I don't know.
Okay, it is Tom Holland. Mira. He was the drummer for The Who.
Pass.
Pass. Kendall, same question. The drummer for The Who. You have one more pass.
Pass.
All right, Leah.
I don't know.
Tough category is Keith Moon was what we were looking for, and one correct response on your round. All right, so a tight match. Conval still holding on to that lead by a score of 330 to 320 as we roll into round 4. So in round 4, we are going to continue with our 20-point toss-up questions. However, we will be deducting 20 points for any incorrect responses. Teams, it is a close match, so play smart and play strategic. Good luck. While they were both competing for the Republican presidential nomination, George H.W. Bush called Ronald Reagan's economic plans, now known as Reaganomics, this. Leah of Conval.
Trickle-down economics?
Sorry, no. It is incorrect. Hopkinton? All right. We were looking for voodoo economics, which is what George H.W. Bush referred to it as. All right, teams. The saying and ideas of this Chinese politician, poet, and philosopher are collected in the Analects. It is Confucius. Composer Aaron Copland wrote the music for the ballets Appalachian Spring and Rodeo. He also composed the music for this 1938 ballet about a young outlaw and gunfighter who is killed at the age of 21. This is Billy the Kid. This author, who wrote in Yiddish, won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1978 and 2 U.S. National Book Awards, one in children's literature in 1970 for his memoir A Day of Pleasure, Stories of a Boy Growing Up in Warsaw, and one in fiction in 1974 for his collection A Crown of Feathers and Other Stories. It was Isaac Bashevis Singer. This plant, a member of the bean family, is probably native to Asia and Africa, but is cultivated worldwide. It is used to make blue dye. Kendall of Conval?
Indigo?
Correct. This series of civil wars were fought for control of the British throne by the Lancasters and the Yorks. Sam of Conval?
War of the Roses?
Correct. With fewer than 600,000 residents, this is the least populated state in the United States. Kendall of Conval?
Wyoming?
That's right. This holiday, which marks the unofficial end of summer, was signed into law as a federal holiday in 1894 by President Grover Cleveland. Giselle of Hopkinton.
Labor Day?
Yes. At 6 feet 4 inches, Abraham Lincoln was the tallest president. At 6 feet 3.5 inches, this Texas native was the second tallest president. Leah of Conval.
Lyndon B. Johnson?
Correct. Teams, what is the shape of a DNA molecule? Sam of Conval?
A double helix?
Yes. One country begins with the letter Q, and one country ends with the letter Q. Name them. Hal of Hopkinton.
Qatar and I don't know.
All right, Conval. Mira of Conval.
Qatar and Iraq.
And Iraq was the other one. Good job. This annual celebration started with the Pennsylvania Dutch and revolves around cloud cover and a rodent. Kendall of Conval.
Groundhog Day?
That's it. Teams, what are you afraid of if you suffer from hydrophobia? Leah of Conval.
Water?
Water is right. Niall Horan, Liam Payne, Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, and Louis Tomlinson were all original members of this boy band. Adam of Hopkinton.
One Direction?
Yes. This Midwestern state, known as the Cornhusker State, was the birthplace of President Gerald Ford. Kendall of Conval.
Nebraska?
Nebraska's right. This mortal lover of Aphrodite, who was known for his beauty, was gored by a bull and died. Legend has it that when he died, Aphrodite's tears mixed with his blood and became the anemone flower. It was Adonis. The design of Benjamin Franklin on the front side of the Pulitzer Prize medal was created by this Exeter, New Hampshire native, also known for the statue of Abraham Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial. That was Daniel Chester French. And this element can be used. That is going to end the game. And with a strong fourth round, it is Conval moving on to the next round. All right, congratulations, Conval, on a game well played. Hopkinton, congratulations to you as well for a game well played and hanging in there all the way until the end. We'll see you in a few weeks, Conval. And Hopkinton is a young squad. I look forward to seeing you in years to come. That'll do it for us this week. Thank you so much for watching at home. We hope you had fun. I know we did. And I hope you learned a lot, because I did as well. We'll see you next week.
Major funding for the production of Granite State Challenge is provided by Unitil. Additional funding provided by NEA New Hampshire, Safety Insurance, New Hampshire Lottery, DF Richard Energy, HRCU, Cognia, and viewers like you. Thank you.